Hey everybody, and welcome back to the farm. And today we're going to get started working on this old Massey Ferguson Model 10 hay rake. I went ahead and sprayed all the bolts with WD-40, all the nuts, and doing some initial inspections here. There's a lot of loose bolts and wore out bolts. I mean, these bolts just wore out. This bolt's wore out. You can see this whole frame's loose. This frame up here, and this bolt's been welded. This nut's welded to the bolt, so that'll have to be cut off. I'm not going to take time to paint this thing. The weather's just not going to cooperate with me, and I'm way behind. So my plans are to replace this belt. To replace the belt, you've got to come over this wheel here. All right, so there's no other way, because this hub comes down right there. So the only way to get that belt in here is to go over this wheel or to remove the wheel. So my biggest plans are, of course, to replace the belt. I need to take off these bars. I'm going to go ahead and replace every spring tooth on here, and all these retainers and bolts will be replaced. I'm also going to replace these wheels and tires, and on this one we've got a bad bend in the frame here where it's hit. It's gotten hit up against that, probably backed into something, so that'll have to be straightened out. This one I believe is going to be good. I ain't going to have to do too much. I'm going to tear it down. I will have to probably what I'll do, once I get all this weight off here, I'll be able to just drop it and then remove the whole assemblies. And I'm thinking these bushings in there, I don't have any replacement parts for none of that, but we will check the wire. These were always greased before using. As you can tell, they've got a lot of old grease on them, so we'll clean all that up. And actually, I could just jack it up and unbolt this whole assembly right here and just take that off. These are adjustable up and down. You can see this side right here has got two holes above it, whereas this side only has one, and so it's really not quite even. It's actually lower on this end than it is on that end, so that really needs to be straightened out. I think both of them need to be like this. So I think that'd be my best bet. Really would be to put my jack under here and jack it up and take these off. So that's what I'll do. And of course we'll check all the other bolts and make sure everything's good and tight. And down here, and I've seen just about every one of these rakes I've ever seen, these things break and people come back and they weld in some brackets. This one just has two. My other parts rake I bought, I wish I'd kept. I think every one of those was reinforced, and some of these is bent pretty bad. I think this one right here is awfully close right there, and I don't know how in the world you'd ever bend these things back the way they was original. So anyway, at some point today we'll get started on this. I'm gonna go ahead and spray these other four bolts down with WD, and we'll let it soak, and hopefully it ain't gonna rain on us, because it is awfully cloudy, and it's about 10:30 in the morning. So I'll bring you back. All right, everybody, it's been a couple hours and it started sprinkling earlier, so I'm gonna try to get some of these bars off. To do this, we're going to need 1.25 inch wrench. I don't have one, so I'm going to use this 15-inch crescent. 12-inch crescent will work, but 1.25 inch would be better. And a 3/8 Allen will go in the middle of this bearing. I'll also be replacing most of these bearing retainers if they got any wire to them. Most of them do. And all the bearings will be replaced except for the ones I replaced last year. I'll just reuse those. So these just gonna have a flat washer. I guess that's like a locking nut. You can see it's slotted in there. That's gonna help get it lined up, get it on, and then it's gonna locate itself really once you got them on both sides. So we'll go over here and get the other side off, and we'll come back and we'll take this bar off. Alright, so the other side, pretty easy to get off. It's loose too. Now getting this bar off is a little bit tricky because it's going to be unbalanced and everything's going to move. It's going to want to move with us. So we're going to pull it off. We'll have to go in that way or this way, one or the other, and come out with it. Probably just come straight out this side right here. And surprisingly, it didn't move with me. Very surprising. I'm going to set my sawhorses up and we'll work on this one and get all these springs off. Alright, so all these springs are held on with a shoulder bolt that goes through these retainers. So the retainer actually holds the bolts while you loosen the nut. Now most of these retainers are broke, wore out. So chances are a lot of these we're going to have to cut off. So here's the new springs. I got these through the Mass Ferguson dealer. I think you can get these on eBay, it's probably cheaper. But they are coated. And the new retainers, you can see they got a square, and that fits the square of that shoulder bolt into it like that. But I'm going to work on getting these off, and we'll see how much I get done without breaking out the grinder. Well, had pretty good success. I'm going to have to cut off 4 of them. 1 there, 3 there. And basically what I was using was my little cordless impact. Every now and then I had to break them with this ratchet. Wear gloves because I did cut my finger. So I think now I'm gonna go ahead and put on the new ones, except for the mates to these that I got to fix. So one reason I wanted to go ahead and do this is so I'll know which way these springs are supposed to go. See, I already had that going in wrong. These are 5/16 bolts. And what I bought was some star washers, and I got these off Amazon. And some nuts with the big round part that kind of digs into that washer. And these are not locking nuts per se, but I think once they dig into that washer, it'll pretty much lock them into place. I think you just have to make sure that this bolt gets seated right inside that. Because if you don't, it's going to be hard to control. The retainers, this part here I got from Mass Ferguson dealer. Everything else comes from Amazon. Could have got them probably from Fastenal bolts. have a Fastenal here in town, but it's just easy for me to buy stuff online. I wasn't in no big hurry for them, so it took a while to get these bolts from Amazon. It wasn't from Amazon. It was from a third party, and I would say it took probably about 3 or 4 weeks for these bolts to come in. And so there's a set. Now we'll probably go ahead and put the rest of them on and come back and tighten them up. All right, everybody, one is done. And I don't know if I ordered enough of these retainers to do every one of them. I may end up having to reuse some of my old ones. I just didn't see but a couple packs in there, and I'm all the way down to 2 left in the first pack with just this one done. So I think maybe I just ordered about half enough. Some of the old ones are decent and can be reused, I think. And if I can always go back and order some more if I need to. Okay, one thing I want to mention. If you're going to take off all your bars, go ahead and get them all loosened up really good before you remove all of them but the last one, because sometimes things are hard to get out and you'll need to put something in here to kind of keep it from moving, like this crowbar. Just wedge it in there, and that Allen wrench, if it was all the way over, it would hit right here, which will help when you're loosening. It'll hold it in place for you, so you can use a sledgehammer or whatever on your wrench. Remember, impact won't do you any good, because it'll just spin the whole bearing. So just thought I would mention that. I got all of them loose now to the point where it'd be pretty easy to get them off. And I had 2 of them that I really had to fight, but was able to do it by blocking it the correct way and getting that Allen wrench up against it, and just using the correct wrench, which I did find is 1 1/16", not 1 1/4", and I did have that one. So instead of using a crescent wrench, which ain't the best to use in a situation where you got to really put a lot of effort into something. So just thought I would mention that, and I'm going to continue getting this off, and we'll continue replacing these springs. Alright, everybody, well, I got 2 of them completely done, all new hardware, everything, but I run out of springs, I run out of bolts, and I run out of these keepers. I reused some old ones, just kind of clean them up a little bit. And I think the problem is, when I originally was planning on doing this, I was just going to replace the worst of it. And it's kind of evolved into, I want to replace everything, the springs, the keepers. If they're usable, we'll reuse them, because those are, I think, about $5 or $6 a piece for those things right there. And I'm going to have to order some bolts and some more nuts and some more springs. So I got 50 springs, not realizing that these held 18 a piece. So I'm going to need another 25 to finish it out. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a spring for that. I just didn't have another bolt. So I need 4 and 18's 22. So I think they come in 25 packs of springs. So I'll just get another one of those, and hopefully they'll be in before next weekend. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2, where we'll be removing these bearings and the belt and replacing the bearings. And I've got 5 of those bearing holders. It uses 8. I've replaced 1 already, so I'm hoping at least 2 more is good. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't.